All right, well, it's after an Eagles loss, so I guess the views will go up in this video. Seems the way things have gone. I get a lot of views after loss. I get so-so views after wins, but that's okay. So as we all know by now, the Eagles go down 27-16 against the still unbeaten Carolina Panthers. They're now 6-0, and the Eagles are now 3-4 going into the bye week. And then after that, they play another primetime Sunday night game on NBC against Dallas. Um, so yeah, I mean, what can you take away from that game? I mean, it was another typical, loss the way things have gone this season. Too many mistakes. Um, namely the Eagles receivers dropping too many passes, and this has been going on all year, and it's getting really frustrating because one of the things that people one of the things that we've all said throughout the off season and throughout the season is the moves that they made this this off season by getting rid of talent. And I can deal. I mean, I was as big a McCoy fan as any Eagle fan, but I can kind of deal with letting him go and bringing in Murray and Matthews to go with Sproles. Have that kind of three-headed monster. I can kind of go along with that, but the thing that I don't understand is, and what I would have rather seen them do, is instead of getting Murray and Matthews, maybe get one of them and use that extra money to bring back Jeremy Maclin, who had an Pro Bowl season a year ago, had his best year as a pro, and really started to thrive in this offense. I mean, obviously the year before he was out with the injuries, came back last year, had a great year, was a real playmaking receiver. Like I said, he made the Pro Bowl his first time in his career, had a great season, and the Eagles choose not to bring him back. He goes to Kansas City and reunites with Andy Reid there. And to me, it's a decision they didn't have to do. I mean, they could have brought him back. I mean, maybe you would have had to pay him a decent amount of money, but you know what? I mean, hey, yeah, Pro Bowl players are going to get paid. I mean, that's just how it is, and he did get paid with Kansas City. And they replaced him with a bunch of young receivers. I mean, besides Miles Austin, this is relatively a very young receiving core. You have Josh Huff, you have Jordan Matthews, and you have the rookie Nelson Aguilar. Aguilar, of course, hasn't played the last couple of weeks with the injury, but when you do that and you lose Pro Bowl talent and you substitute that with young talent, I mean, this is the results you're going to get. I mean, a lot of drops, mistakes, and I know Matthews had a good rookie year a year ago, but he had Maclin on the other side of him making plays, and he doesn't have that now. So he's the guy. And I don't know if it's in his head. I don't know. I know the first week, the last play was basically a drop pass by him, a ball that went through his fingertips, and it got intercepted in Atlanta, and that ended that game basically. I don't know if it's all in his head. I really don't know. I don't think he's a bad receiver. I mean, he showed last year what he can do, but I don't know. Maybe there is a lot of extra pressure on him now, and he is still a young receiver. And young receivers for the most part, unless you're Randy Moss, or one of these just all world receivers, you're gonna have times where you struggle, early in your career. And the unfortunate thing about it is that there is really not that other security valve, that security blanket, all pro receiver on the other side. It's like Matthews and Huff and Aguilar when he's in there. I mean, they have to be the guys because who else do they have? I mean, Miles Austin is a veteran. Riley Cooper is, Riley Cooper. So you don't have the you don't have the luxury of having these great veteran receivers around you. And unfortunately, a lot of the receivers have had a case of the drops this season. And I know last week, I talked about how poorly, Sam Bradford played, and I saw it firsthand. I was there. Well, I mean, obviously this week, I mean, yeah, I mean, did he make mistakes? Yeah, but you know what? He was more mobile in the pocket. He got away from the pressure. He made throws. The receivers just didn't catch. And I hate to use a Bill Belichick line, but their big mantra last year in New England was "Do your job." And that's basically how I feel about the receivers. You're in the NFL. Your job is to catch the ball when it's thrown to you. And I know not every ball is going to be perfect. There's going to be defenders on you, but it's your job in the NFL. You're getting paid to block, to run your routes, and to catch the football. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you did in college. Most part, that's what you did in high school. Whatever. You're an NFL wide receiver. Your job is to catch the football, and that's exactly what you got to do. So Jordan Matthews and Josh Huff, you guys are young, but you got to catch the damn ball. I mean, it's that simple. And it's been way too many drops. And even yesterday, to end the game, basically, Miles Austin drops a pass. Now, was it a perfectly thrown ball? No. But you know what? He's a veteran. He's got to make that play. I mean, I'm watching the New England game earlier in the day, and, here's the difference between a team that knows how to win and a team that's still finding their way. You see, in the New England game, I mean, Brady was under duress. He's making these throws, not perfect passes, but what do his receivers do? They go up and make the play. They make the catch. I mean, you have Danny Amendola, who was an Eagle for a time, goes up and makes a great catch on a overthrown ball. He goes up and gets it, makes the catch, makes a tough catch in the end zone with defenders around him for a touchdown. He did his job. And in the Eagles' case, here's Jordan Matthews running across the field, dropping the ball. Key third down, dropping the ball. The first interception was because the ball Jordan couldn't, hang on to. It goes to the defender who made a great play on the ball. But, it's just, I mean, that's right there in a nutshell. And I hate beating on this point. I really do. Because I know it's old, and I know people watch these videos and say, oh, Eagle fans, this is what, they just keep bringing this stuff up. Well, it's because we watch the team every week. See, a lot of other people are watching the Eagles when they're on primetime TV. They don't watch every Eagles game. We're the ones sitting here watching these games, so we definitely know what we speak of when we see these guys dropping passes, and we kind of lament some of the moves that were made in the past. People get on Eagle fans for getting on Chip Kelly, but I think people need to understand Chip Kelly is the coach and the GM. The moves that were made in this offseason and, really prior to that were on Chip Kelly's watch. Those are the moves that he's making. So you must excuse us for being a little upset with him when when you get rid of all these all-pro players and it's not working out. The team's 3-4. I mean, we certainly are going to be upset. Any fan base would be upset right now if their team was sitting at 3-4. Any passionate fan base would certainly feel that way. I mean, if the Patriots are 3-4, what do you think their fans are doing right now? Giants are sitting at 3-4. What are their fans doing? So I love it when the fans try to tell Eagle fans, what we should do. When you're not an Eagles fan, you don't go through this stuff. It's not your team. You don't live and die with them every week. So, just stick to your own team. But anyhow, so yeah, I mean, I hate banging on this point, but one of the move that I still just always shake my head at when I think back at it is when, a couple off seasons back, Chip Kelly decides to release Deshaun Jackson just because he's a bad locker room guy. You can't have any of those. And just releases him, and gets nothing back. I mean, we're talking about an all-pro receiver, a game-changer type of wideout. Just releases him for no apparent reason, but other than he's a bad guy in the locker room, or he's a bad culture guy. That whole culture stuff. And I never understood the move then. I still don't understand the move. And then he follows it up with electing not to bring back, another all-pro receiver in Jeremy Maclin. Again, had his best season as a pro a year ago in this offense. Now, maybe because the season before Deshaun was cut, he had his best season in the pros in this offense. Maybe because Jeremy Maclin, who basically replaced Deshaun last year, had his best season as a pro in this offense. Chip is thinking, I can put anyone in here and it will work. Young receivers, anybody, it's going to work. It doesn't work that way. Not in the NFL. NFL, you need to have talent. And that's not always as easy to find. I mean, you have to have talent to make plays. Playmakers make plays. That's the whole thing. That's Michael Irvin's mantra, right? Playmakers make plays. So you have to have them on the team. And right now, at wide receiver, we really don't have that. You know, it's a for the most part a youthful, wide receiving core with not much experience outside of Cooper and Miles Austin, and mistakes are going to be made, and that's what we've seen, and it's disappointing, to see. And I'm not saying it's not on the quarterback, because Bradford's been at fault too, during the season. We all know that, it's well documented. The offensive line has been a problem at times, but they have played better. I mean, even last night, you lose Peters, and Tobin comes in and plays well. I mean, for the most part, and there were chances to make plays, they just didn't make them. And it's a shame. It's a shame to sit there and watch it, and just kind of, like I'm doing right now, just shake the head, after the plays that were there to be made are just not made. And you wonder if a Jeremy Maclin would have made that catch, or if Deshaun Jackson, burns the cornerback and makes a big play. And again, a lot of people say, well, they didn't win with them. Well, here's the thing, back then when they had D-Jax and Maclin, the defense wasn't as good as they're playing right now. So yeah, I mean they had Maclin and Jackson making plays, and they were a pretty dynamic offense with McCoy, of course, at the time, and Mike Vick those years, and then Foles, whatever. But the defense wasn't as good as they're playing right now. So it does go hand in hand. I mean, you have to have. I mean, yeah, it's nice to score a lot of points, but you do have to stop the other team. And for the most part, the defense has played pretty solid. I mean, again, last night, I know they gave up some plays. They gave up their first, 100-yard, against, with a running back and Jonathan Stewart for the first time in some seasons. They gave up 2 rushing touchdowns, one to Cam Newton and one to Jonathan Stewart. And the play, by goodness, I'm blanking on his name for some reason. The fullback there, Tolbert. It was just a heck of a play. I mean, you had Jenkins hit him square, and it's like bouncing off a truck. And then he just takes it in. And you have Maxwell there kind of flailing. I don't know what the heck he was doing. He was like flailing his arms at him as he ran by. Didn't you used to play on the Legion of Boom? Imagine them doing that kind of thing? I don't know. But anyhow. So, yeah, I mean, the fullback takes it in for a touchdown. But other than that, they played pretty good. I mean, they played pretty solid. They got 3 turnovers, I believe. I mean, just incredible interceptions. They did their job for the most part. It's just the offense making mistakes, dropping passes, bad play calling. 3rd and 9, you're doing a bubble screen. I mean, I don't understand it. As any Eagle fan, we're just sitting there watching this game going, what in the hell are they doing? 3rd and 9, you're supposed to go down the field, not just throw the ball across and hope that the receiver can then run. You're playing an athletic defense, and again, marks to Carolina. They're a great defense. They played well for the most part last night. I mean, they got Kuechly and Davis at linebacker. Those screens and all, they're not going to work on this team. I mean, man, what else can you say? It's disappointing. It was a game that they had chances to make plays, and they it's one in the loss column that could have been a win. It could have been a win if they made the plays that were there to make. I'll give credit to Bradford. He had a better game. Certainly than he did on Monday night. It's not his fault the receivers dropping passes. He was mobile in the pocket. He got away from pressure a few times. He made some plays. And, we're going to harp on him in weeks where it's just like that, ironically, in a winning week against the Giants, we can't even enjoy that because our quarterback didn't play that good. But, he had a tough game there. But I thought he played, again, for the most part, pretty good. I mean, he got sacked a few times. The one sack, the guy had him on the sleeve, and I don't know. But, but hey, he was mobile. He got away a few times. The pocket was collapsing. He hung in there. He was making some throws. It's just the receivers got do their job and catch the ball. It's just, it's like the basic stuff sometimes with this team, and it's maddening. It really is. It's just you're watching this, you're like, damn it, I could have completed that pass in Madden. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, it is what it is. As any fan base knows, after a loss, it's always tough. And when it was a game like that, where it's a low scoring game for the most part, there were plays to be had. There were plays in the end zone to be had that they didn't make. And again, the Panthers made some plays. Hey, their defense is very good defense. I mean, they're a big reason why that team's 6-0 right now, because they're balling. They got some playmakers on that side of the ball, and they're definitely a top-notch defense, and they remembered what happened to them a year ago here. So I knew it was going to be a tough game. The funny thing is, a couple weeks ago before the Saints game, I was telling my boss and coworker about how the Eagles can turn things around, what they have to do, and I said at the time, you beat the Saints, you beat the Giants. I kind of penciled that game. I'm not going to lie about it. I kind of penciled this game in as a loss because of what happened a year ago, because the Panthers are a hot team right now, and it's in Carolina. I just thought it would be a tough game, and I was hoping the Eagles would win. I never want them to lose, but I kind of looked at this game as this could be an L. This could be an L. But again, watching the game, seeing what happened, how it kind of played out, it could have been a W. I mean, it could have. They just didn't make the plays. But I did say after the Carolina game that they would roll off 4 in a row. After the bye week, that they'll beat Dallas, and Dallas could get revenge from week 2, that they'll beat the Dolphins, that they'll beat the Bucs at home, and then they'll win on Thanksgiving against the Lions. Now, obviously, you just never know. A lot has to happen. But that was my kind of, mantra going into that game against the Saints. I'm like, okay, well, these are winnable games here against the Saints and Giants. You win those 2, you get back in the hunt. Who knows about Carolina, but then after that, after the bye week, let's roll off 4 in a row. And then, well, they got to go to New England where that's going to be tough. And I know the Dolphins are playing better now. I mean, Dallas, their defense is playing pretty good. So definitely they're going to be tough games. But I think they can do it. I think they can roll off 4 in a row and then, go into New England. Maybe they're on a roll at that point. You never know what can happen. I mean, you just never know in the NFL anymore. But honestly, like I said, big disappointment of last night was the drops. And we've been seeing it all season long with these receivers, and they have got to find a way to catch the ball. I don't know how. I don't know how this gets corrected other than doing it, than making the catch. So anyhow, we sit at 3-4. The Giants won yesterday against Dallas, so they're 4-3. They're in first place again in the division, and the Redskins won somehow. They came from 24 points down to beat the Bucs. Stupid Bucs. Thank you, Tampa. But Kirk Cousins had another comeback win like he did against the Eagles. He did it to the Bucs. So they're sitting at 3-4, and technically they're in second place because they got the tiebreaker because of that win against the Eagles in week 4. And so yeah, I mean, and Dallas lost again, so they're in last place without some of their horses, but they're in last place. So this division is still going to be there. I mean, it's going to come down to the last few weeks, and like I said, the Eagles have a chance after the bye week to get some W's. Is it going to be easy? No, but I feel that they have some games that they, if they play, to their capability and actually, have receivers that can catch the ball, and their defense continues to play good. I mean, they have a chance to win those games. They honestly do. They have a chance to roll off 4 in a row and go into New England with some big momentum. And we'll see what happens. Obviously, is that going to happen? I don't know. I don't have a DeLorean out there to go, in the future and come back and say all these things definitively. But this is how I feel. I mean, the fan in me never wants this team to lose, But realistically, the way things have gone this season, the way they've played inconsistently on offense, defense they've played really well. They've hung in there week to week. But now it's about the offense. Now it's about the guys going out there and making plays when there are plays to be made. And it always sucks after a loss. It always does. But anyhow, bye week here, so I'll be taking the bye week with this series too. But be back in a few weeks for more of Season of the Fan, Philadelphia Eagles 2015, and hopefully a couple weeks from now I'll be making a video after a big W and Big D. So we'll see what happens. As always, go Birds, and I will see you in the next video. I'll have some pickup videos coming up here for my jersey collecting, and I'll be back with this series after the bye week, after the big game in Dallas. So we'll see what happens then. Hopefully that Sunday night will be better. All right, it's in Dallas, so it better be. You're playing Dallas. It better be, Eagles. Come on, let's get some revenge from week 2. All right, everyone. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.